Good morning, guys. Welcome back to a new sewing tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew this mermaid fishtail dress that you can see on the thumbnail with a front side slit. This outfit is going to have a tail at the back, so meaning that the back is going to be longer than the front, and then the front is going to have a side slit. So if you'd like to know how to do that, keep on watching. But before we head right into it, please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video, and leave a comment. So let's get right into it. Okay, so this outfit is for a client. So she wants to make a dress that I am making, but I want to cut the skirt part of the dress first of all. Okay, so the length of her dress, her full length is 65. I'll subtract her half length, that's from her shoulder to her waist length. I'll subtract that. Her waist length is 16.5, so 65 minus 16.5 should be 48.5. So I'm going to mark out 48.5, but I'll be using 50 inches. The 50 inches, the 1.5 I added is going to be my sewing allowance, so I'm going to use 50 inches. So here I am going to mark my length 50 inches at this point, and I will take it all the way to the end, 50 inches. Remember that this outfit is a fishtail outfit, so that is why we are using this length as wide as we can. I just folded my fabric into two. Yeah, so this is our length. Now we'll go ahead and impute our measurements. You know her waist length is 16.5, so I'm going to place my tape at 16 from the waist of this skirt. So the 050 is going to serve as the sewing allowance, so I'll put my tape here at 16. But if you are sewing this as a normal skirt, it's not going to be attached to a dress. Just start from the beginning how you normally do your thing, then mark your hip length, your knee length, and be going. So I'm going to start with I'll be starting with 16 inches. So I'm going to mark my hip length. My hip length is 27.5. My knee length is 40 inches. But I am not going to be using 40 inches because you know this is a fishtail outfit. Okay, I don't want her knees to be clumped together, you know, for mobility. So her knee length is 40 inches. I'm going to come up by 3 inches. So I'm going to mark 37. This is where I'm going to mark my knee length. Okay, so I'm going to replicate this same thing I did here again, and then join the lines together. So guys, her round hip is 43. So 43 divided by 4 is 10.75. I'll go ahead and do the same, adding 3 inches again as our sewing allowance. Okay, so guys, this is my full length. Okay, this is the line of my full length. Okay, so at this full length I'm going to come in by 1.5 and leave it. The reason why I'm coming in by 1.5 and leaving it is because this is going to cater. I know this is the same length I'm using, the same material I'm using for my bag. So this 1.5 inches is going to serve as a sewing allowance. So by the time I remove it, the front and back are going to be they will coincide, they will be equal. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but you understand what I mean later. So from this 1.5, obviously we added our sewing allowance to be 3 inches, so I'm going to come in. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go up by 3 inches. The reason why I'm going up by 3 inches is so that the outfit is going to have like that curvature. Okay, so now I'm going to connect this way. You see the way I'm doing it? I'll connect it and then come back to the full length line. Do you see? I connected this from here, it came back to this full length line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to join the knee length to the full length. So I'm going to be joining this knee length to the full length. Okay, I'll join it together. This is sewing allowance I'm joining together, and then this is the actual measurement I am joining together this side. So I'm going to join it together like this. This is my knee length. Okay, please disregard this measurement that is here. I'm basically going to go and cut the round hip on the knee length. So let us measure my knee length. My round hip is 43. you are going to subtract 7 from my 43. So 43 minus 7, which is 36. That's what you're going to have. You divide it by 4, which is 9. You're going to have 9 here. I want to use a different chalk so you can see the difference, because I've already made a mistake here. So this is 9. Okay, so 9, you add, remember we're adding 3 inches to it. So okay, so this is our new measurement. These are actual measurement for our knee. So it is from this line that I'm going to connect from here to the full length. Then I'll connect from this line, which is the sewing allowance, to the full length of the sewing allowance. So guys, you can see I'm going to connect from here to the full length. I'm using a different color of chalk so that you can understand, so you can see the contrast. So this is what you have. So this is your hip length and this is the knee length. I'll connect my hip length from here to here. I'll connect it, and then I'll also do the same for the sewing allowance. So you can see I'm using a different chalk so that you can see how you are doing it. So to connect from the hip length to the waist length, what we are going to use is our hip curve. So let me put this at this side so you guys can see how I connect it to the waist. Okay, so now I'm going to use my hip curve and then connect here. This is our round waist, right? I'll connect these together, and then I'll also connect these together. Can you see? I want to get our side slit, and we're going to be using our bust pan. Her bust pan is 4 inches, so I'll be using 4.5. This 4.5 is going to cater the ½ inch I'm adding is for sewing allowance. So I'll use 4.5, and I'll mark this 4.5 from the top, from the waist down to the full length. Okay, and connect the lines together. See that I marked the line straight. I want to show you so you can see it. I marked the line straight. So this is our waist length. Remember, this is our waist, this is our hip, this is our knee. Remember that I made a mistake in the knee. I had to come and correct it because I marked my round hip on my knee length. So this is our actual knee, this chalk that I'm using. So you connect it all the way to the full length. Remember that this full length, we came up by 3 inches, and then we'll curve this back to the actual length, so it will have these curve vibes. So I'll go ahead and cut this out now. Let me show you guys how I will cut it out. So I'm going to cut out from this line, the sewing allowance, not this one, the sewing allowance, and this is our actual measurements. I'll cut it this way all the way to the end. This is the back. We want to cut the back. I'm going to come and measure 1.5. Remember that 1.5 I was telling you guys that we left in front? Yes, that's what I'm now doing. I'm going to mark out 1.5 first. This 1.5 is going to serve as my zip allowance. So I'll mark it all the way to the full length, and then connect everything together. I'll start my front pattern from the 1.5 zip allowance that we did. So now guys, let me now show you guys what I was saying. If you come to the end here, let me bring this closer. If you come to the end here, can you see how the front part and the back side, they are now equal? Okay, that's because of that 1 inch I removed from the front part. As mean I didn't do it, this is how this clothes will be. One and like this will be outside here, and that's not what we want. That is why I brought out that 1.5 in front. I hope that has cleared it up for you. Yeah, this waist side now. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to go in by 1.5. I'm going to go in by 1.5 here. So what we're going to be using is these points. So I'm going to extend my hip length. This is my hip length now. I'm going to go up and down by 2 inches. By 2 inches. Okay, can you see what I'm having here? So at the knee length, let me shift this. This is our knee length. So at the knee length, I'm going to also extend this out. I am going to go in by 1.5 as well, and then we'll now follow this our line that we drew here and go down. So let us connect this side together so you can understand what I am saying. Let me remove this front. So remember I told you guys that at the waist length you're going to go in by 1.5, and 1.5 we already have this 1.5 here. So I'll place my tape, my ruler from here, and then connect to the 2 inches on top above the hip line. Remember this is our hip line, our hip length. We went up and down by 2 inches. So I'm going to connect this 1.5 to the 2 inches above the hip length. Okay, so from the 2 inches below the hip length, I'll connect it to the 1.5 we went in at the knee length. This is our knee length. So I'll connect from these 2 inches below the hip length to the 1.5 inches we went in at the hip, at the knee length. So this is what you are going to have. So can you see how this is looking? It's giving a curved shape. With this, you have embedded your bum into your outfit, and this is going to help to give you like that perfect shape that you want. Okay, so obviously we are going to follow that 1.5 measurement and go all the way down at this full length part now, because we want to add tail to this outfit. Okay, you're the one that will know how many inches or how long you want your tail to be. So for her, I am going to be using 12 inches. This 12 inches is going to include sewing allowance. This lady, she's a not wedding guest, bridesmaid, so I don't want the tail to be overly exaggerated. But if you're making for bridal outfits, you can go like add more length. Okay, yeah. So now I'm going to be using these points. Okay, so I am going to connect from these points, this our side. Okay, I'm going to connect here. I'll do a curve that will come and join to this length. Okay, so I'm just going to freehand it. If you like, you can use a hip curve. Okay, but me, I'm just going to use freehand and do it. So this is what you are going to have. I hope this is a self-explanatory enough. I'll now cut this out from here. So this is our back pattern. So at this full length now, guys, this full length, remember our 1.5 inch that we added? I'm going to cut it out. This is what we are going to do. I'm going to cut it out. Then let me reach, when I reach around the knee length, I'll stop. At the knee length here, I'm going to follow this way. This is how I'm going to go about it. Okay, I am not going to cut out anything from here, obviously. So now I am going to go and follow how we followed from these 2 inches above the hip length. I'll cut this out this way to the waist, and this is what you're going to have. So I'll go ahead and open up here, and this is the shape that you have. With this, I've embedded your bum, and then the outfit is ready. That our zip allowance that we cut out, I'll mark it back again. Okay, so I'll do 1 inch. Remember our hip length, we didn't remove anything, so obviously the 1 inch is going to still be there. So I'm going to do this, not 1 inch, sorry, I keep saying 1 inch, 1.5 we use at our zip allowance initially. So you're going to do the 1.5 all the way to the full length. Okay, so when I'm going to sew this back side now, this is the line I'm going to follow to sew it. I hope this is self-explanatory, like you're getting it. The next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the lining and also the lining for both the front and back pattern. And when I now finish cutting the lining for both the front and back pattern, I will now go ahead and slash this our slit line open after I've done cutting out the lining for both the front and back material. Yeah, so guys, you can see I've gone ahead to cut open this side, this slit here, and I'm going to sew it. You can also see for the lining that I've also gone ahead to sew everything down. So I am going to open up this this way and do open ironing techniques. I'm waiting for my iron to be hot so that I can iron this out this with open ironing technique. When I open it and iron it and it's laid flat, I'll come to the front and also iron it, because pressing is very important. I'll do the same for this. I'm going to open iron this down and then turn to the front and also press it down. Yes, you can see I've gone ahead to iron it back. Okay, so now I'm going to like remark my measurement from here to the waist side and take it down. Do you understand? Because you know we have gone ahead to like sew the slit, so 1 inch has gone out of this. So let me remark my measurement again. So my round waist is 30 inches divided by 4 is 7.5 here, 7.5. Then my round hip is 43, right? Yeah, divided by 4 is 10.75. So I mark it here. Okay, I'll come down here by 2 inches. Okay, I'll come down by 2 inches. At the knee length, I'm going to do round hip, which is 43 inches minus 7 inches. That is going to give me about, that's 36 inches, right? Yes, 36 inches. So this 36 inches divided by 4 is 9. So I'll go ahead and mark this 9 inches at the knee length here. Then I'll just connect this down to the full length. So for this part, I'm going to connect this round waist, sorry, this round hip to this measurement. Let me confirm that this is 9, but yes, this is 9. So I'm going to mark this out. Then I'll use my hip curve, and then this is our 7.5, but let me confirm it. Yes, that is it. So I am also going to connect this to this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect this part from the knee to the full length. Okay, I'll connect it. So now I have gotten this, I'll go ahead and use 5 on the machine, that's the loose stitch, and sew this place down. When I sew it down, I'll now come back to the table and then iron it out. When I iron it, I'll now loosen it so that I can use that particular place, the stitching look there, and then sew the. Let me do that and come back and show you. So guys, as you can see for this front outfit there, I have gone ahead to sew here. I use loose stitch to sew it down. Okay, so what I'll be doing now is to open it up and iron it. Open it up this way and iron. When you are done ironing it, okay, you will now remove that stitch that is there. So the line on those stitches plus the lining of the ironing, you know that once you place, you now place this, your outfit, this particular skirt pattern, by the time you open it, on top the black pattern, using, you know that this is going to be the line that you are going to sew on. I hope this makes sense. But when I'm doing it, I'll show you guys also, so that in case it doesn't make sense, but by the time you see the actual thing, it will make sense to you. Okay, so let me just quickly iron this thing from our back. Let me show you another method for easy way. By the time you loosen this thing, you can see the ironing line that is there is also here, so you're going to follow it. Plus also, let me show you, as you're loosening it, you can see the stitching line is there, so you can follow it. There are different things that you can follow. You can also follow this shock line here. Another method that you can also do, let me show you guys, is also, before you loosen this thing, you use your shock and then trace out this part on the other side that you didn't put anything. Do you get? Trace it out all the way to the full length, and then before you loosen it. So you have 3 ways of doing it. You can choose any one, or you can do all 3, so that, you know, the more you do use the 3 methods together, the more prominent, I mean, a conspicuous. English is not, it is not coming. The English is not coming. The more the place you sew is very obvious. I beg, please subscribe to my channel, because English wants to deadly me. English wants to deadly me, but it will not find me. Anyways, let me quickly remove this thing to the end. Can you see? Let me show you guys. You can see the ironing mark, the ironing line. You can also see the stitching line as well. I hope you can see that. Yeah. So guys, you can see that I notched here. If you see, I notched this center so that it will coincide with the back zip allowance. Yeah. So I've gone ahead to pin the front pattern, the front material to the back material. Okay, so you can see the ironing line and the shock line. I'll go ahead and sew this place. I'll also sew this one also down to the full length. I'll do the same for the lining and then I'll be back. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is that I am going to join the lining to the main fabric from the downside. You can see this is the downside, this is the tail of the front, the back side, and this is the front side. Okay, so I am going to take the back side, that's the center back here, and then I also get the center back of the lining, which is here, and then hold it together. Make sure that the line they coincide. I'll pin it down. I will also do the same for the sides, the both sides. I will pin it down where they coincide. This the sides, you get what I mean, for the lining and the main fabric. So I will now pin it down. So what I'll do now is to sew this place down. So guys, I've gone ahead to join the down parts of this together, lining to lining. So what I want to do now is to come and sew up the slit, okay, the slit side. But for me to do that, I have to come here and measure out like where I want my slit to stop. Do you get? So I'm going to place my tape. Remember that I started from 16 inches. I'll place my tape here. My round knee is 37, so I'm going to probably stop this here. Not my round knee, my knee length. My knee length is actually 40, but I came up by 3 inches. Of course, you know that already. So I'm going to stop here. So I'll mark the same thing on the lining. Okay, I'm coming. Let me mark that first of all now. 16. So what I will now go to the tape sewing machine to do is to lock here. I'm going to lock here and lock here. Then I'll now open up this slit to the place I locked it. And when I now open it up, I will now come here and join my slits like together. I want to sew my slit side. So I'm going to take lining to main outfit, front sides facing each other and the back side facing away from each other. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and couple this, like sew it down. So guys, at this point I'm done sewing the slits together. I am now fixing the zip at the back of the skirt, and the skirt is basically ready. If you are just doing a skirt, you can go ahead and finish up like the waist side, but my waist side is not finished up because, like I told you guys, this outfit is a dress, so I'm going to be attaching it to the corset.